بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of jurisprudential maxims. In the last two sessions, we discussed قاعده الید وقاعده على الید. These are two different things. One was yad as a sign of milkiyah. One was على اليد ما أخذت حتى تؤديه. When you have something, you are responsible to deliver it, and we discussed this. There is another qaida which is related to yad, and you don't find it in your book. Yes. Because if everything is in the book, you say we don't need teacher. So sometimes I have to say something which is not in the book. Okay. This is قاعده اخبار dhi'l-yad, which is very useful in fiqh, and therefore I thought it's important to have it as a follow-up. اخبار dhi'l-yad. What does it mean? It means that we trust the word of someone who has control over something. This is a very important rule in fiqh. This is a way to establish trust in the society. If I go to someone's home and he says, this is my home, I should trust. Or he says, this carpet is tahir, I trust. Even if that person is not thiqa. This is not because he is thiqa. If it is thiqa, you can even trust him with something that he has no control over it. For example, someone is thiqa, bears witness that someone else's carpet is made clean. Then if you have confidence, you accept. Otherwise, two just people should bear witness and you accept bayyana. But this has nothing to do with accepting the view of thiqa. This is about someone who has control over something belongs to him or is under his care, and we accept. If he says, this is mine, you accept. If he says, this is qasb, you say, okay, this is qasb, I cannot go there. If he says, this is ijara, I have rented, you accept. If he says, this is clean or this is najis, you go someone's home, says, this food is halal, you trust. Unless that person has a history of not being, reliable. That's another issue. But if there is no such a suspicion, evidence-based suspicion, we trust. The reason for this is, first, siratul uqala. All rational people rely on what those who are in charge of something say. You don't question them, you don't ask them for evidence, because if you want in your life, ask everyone for evidence, it will be very difficult. If you go to a shop and to a restaurant, you want to ask for evidence that these ingredients are, halal, or he owns them, it's very difficult. Or if you go to a pharmacy and they give you the prescription, there is a chance maybe that person made mistake. but you don't normally investigate, you trust. So, uqala, even if those who are not religious people, they have such a trust for people who are in charge of something, and religion has also endorsed that. So it's not something totally new that Islam has introduced in his fiqh. Islam many times has accepted things that rational people do. If there were issues, Islam has tried to regulate, like Rebawi said. But many times, if there is any good practice among all people, rational people, Islam accepts and endorses. But we have on top of Siri Uqala, we have hadith. One hadith is from Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Nasr al-Bazanti. He asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, or Imam Reza, it doesn't mention here which Imam, but one of the Imams, about a person who goes to the market and buys a dress which is made from a skin of, like a leather, but not leather, a skin of animal. What do you call pust? Like, it's not leather, it comes with the wool. Hide? Yes. Because if it is just wool is not a problem. But this comes with the skin, and if it is not done zip properly, this is najis. So he goes to the market and buys this jubba. Jubba to fera means something that you put on like a coat, but from a skin of animal. وَلَا يَدْرِي أَذَّكِيَّةٌ أَمْ هِيَ أَمْ غَيْرُ ذَكِيَّةٌ, doesn't know this animal was a slaughtered property or not. أَيُّصَلِّي فِيهَا, can he say his prayer with this dress? Because anything which is mita, if it's from animal which is not slaughtered Islamically, and that animal has life, and also the blood has pressure, then you cannot carry. I cannot have anything from animal which is mita. So he asked Imam alayhi salam, this person has purchased such a dress from market and he doesn't know it was zakiya with dhal means zakat means zibh. It is done zibh properly or not? Ayusalli fiha, does he say his prayer in that? فقال نعم, yes. ليس عليكم المسألة, even you don't need to ask, because it's a Muslim market and you don't need to investigate. Then Imam alayhi salam quotes Imam Baghir, إن أبا جعفر كان يقول إن الخوارج ضيقوا على أنفسهم بجهالتهم. Khawarij made life difficult for themselves because they didn't know Sharia. They kept asking and questioning and doubting people. إِنَّ الدِّينَ أَوْسَعُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. Religion is more inclusive, means you don't need to suffer if you want to be a practicing Muslim. Okay? If you know your masail properly, there are lots of facilities inside Sharia. So we say, even 1 inch of meter, if it's with you, you cannot say your prayer. But you don't need to investigate. You can trust Muslim mark. Yeah? You cannot eat even 1 bite of haram meat. You cannot even have, a little juice of that. But you don't need to investigate. You can trust Muslim market. So, this hadith shows that when you buy from people in the Muslim market, and the assumption is that they are selling this as okay, as something which is possible to be used, you can trust. Another hadith is Sahihatu Muawiyah ibn Ammar. قال سألت أبا عبد الله عليه السلام. He says, I asked Imam Sadiq عليه السلام, أنا الرجل من أهل المعرفة بالحق. There is someone who knows the truth. So he's one of our people. He knows the truth. He knows the right path. But يأتيني, he brings me, if you have grape juice, al-asir al-inabi, if you boil it, it becomes najis. Unless 2/3 evaporates. Okay? So as soon as it starts boiling, it becomes najis. But if 2/3 evaporates, we say dhahab al-thuluthayn, then it becomes tahir. So this person who is one of us, he brings this liquid, bukhtaj, which is al-asir al-matbukh, cooked juice, or grape juice, which is cooked, which is boiled and become thick. Okay, thick. He says, لَقَدْ طُبِخَ عَلَى الثُّلْثِ. He says, I have cooked it and it became 1/3. So he tells me that, don't worry, I have made sure that the 2/3 has gone. But وَأَنَا أَعْرِفُهُ أَنَّهُ يَشْرَبُهُ عَلَى النِّصْفِ. But I know that he himself drinks it when it is 50% gone. He doesn't wait till 2/3 has gone. Because if 2/3 goes, it becomes less. Yeah? So he wants to have more, so after 50% gone, he drinks. So he is a person who has our aqidah, mazhab, but we have such history that he himself drinks after half has gone. But now he tells me that for you, I made sure 2/3 has gone. You understand? أَفَأَشْرَبُهُ بِقَوْلِهِ وَهُوَ يَشْرَبُهُ عَلَى النِّصْفِ. Can I drink according to his word, while I know that he himself is drinking half the way? فَقَالَ لَا تَشْرَبْهُ. Imam said no. Because this person is not practicing, it's not reliable. It's what we call it la wali. It means he doesn't care. If someone for himself doesn't care, then you cannot trust him. If you didn't know him, you could trust him. But now that you know him, that he doesn't practice, so if someone drinks haram, why do you think he is not going to tell you a lie? You can tell also lie. قُلْتُ فَرَجُلٌ مِّنْ غَيْرِ أَهْلِ الْمَعْرِفَةِ. But there is another person who doesn't have this ma'rifah about you and our mazhab aqidah. مِمَّنْ لَا نَعْرِفُهُ يَشْرِبُهُ عَلَى الثُّلْثِ. And we don't know that he is drinking when it is 1/3. We don't know. So it's not that he is not from us, but we know he observes. We don't know what he does. لا نعرفه يشربه على الثلث ولا يستحله على النصف. And he doesn't consider nisf to be halal. يخبرنا أن عنده مختجا على الثلث قد ذهب ثلثاه وبقي ثلث. This person that we don't know him, his mazhab, but we don't have also any bad thing about him. He tells us that 2/3 has gone, 1/3 has remained. يشرب منه. Can we drink from this? Imam said, na'am. You can drink. So, this shows that we can trust what the person who has control over something, he has istila, he has yad over something, tells us, as long as there is no accusation, no ittiham, means there is no kind of bad history with him that makes us suspicious. So if you are clear, you have no bad history of this person being careless, you can trust him. The third riwayah is from Sa'd ibn Ismail and Abih Ismail ibn Isa. قال سألت أبا الحسن عليه السلام. He says, I asked Imam Kazim alayhi salam. It seems it is Imam Kazim, because Abu al-Hasan can be titled for several Imams, but it seems to be Imam Kazim. عن جلود الفراء يشتريها الرجل في سوق من أسواق الجبل. Someone buys this dress from the skin of animal, but where? In a market in mountains. Not in Mecca, Medina, those places, for example, Iraq, in mountains. Maybe in other places in the world. أَيَسْأَلُ عَنْ ذَكَاتِهِ إِذَا كَانَ الْبَائِعُ مُسْلِمًا غَيْرَ عَارِفٍ. Should he ask the person who sells if the person is a Muslim but not a Shia? So he is not someone who is in major Muslim markets. He's in a place that Muslim, non-Muslim live, but this person who sells us is a Muslim but غَيْرَ عَارِف. He doesn't know our mazhab. Imam alayhi salam said, "Alaykum antum an tas'alu an idha ra'aytumul mushrikina yabi'una dhalik." If you see that mushrikeen are selling that, you have to ask. Ask this mushrik, is this something that is Islamically prepared or not? وَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمْ يُصَلُّونَ فِيهِ. But if they are themselves Muslims and they say prayer in this, فَلَا تَسْأَلُوا عَنْ. So in that mixed market, in mountains, in overseas or very far places, if the seller is non-Muslim, you must ask, you must inquire. If it's a Muslim who is himself practicing and he's praying in this kind of dress, then you can trust. The late Shahid Sadr says, there is no need, as a conclusion, there is no need to ask if the seller is a Muslim, and if the seller is not a Muslim, you need to ask and inquire. But if he says, you can accept. It's not a matter of, as I said, اخبار الثقة. You don't need to establish that this person is a truthful person. It's a matter of accepting اخبار dhi'l-yad, the one who has control over something. We trust, unless that person is muttaham, that person is someone that is accused because of his history of not practicing. The fourth hadith is an Ammar and Abi Abdullah alayhi salam. في حديث أنه سئل, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was asked, عن الرجل يأتي بالشراب, someone brings a drink, فيقول هذا مطبوخ على الثلث. He says this is cooked, boiled grape juice up to 1/3 remaining, means 2/3 has gone. Imam alayhi salam said, "In kana musliman wara'an mu'minan ma'munan fala ba'sa an yashrab." If he's a Muslim and is trusted Muslim, then no problem. So, although here Imam mentions the condition of Islam and being pious and muttaqi, but it seems that this is for perfection, because in other places doesn't say that it has to be wara'. Doesn't need to be pious. If it's pious, it's better. But It's not a condition. So, if you study the hadith about this issue, which are found in different sections, you will be understanding that there is no need for that person to be adil, the seller or the one who informs about, for example, his own property. He says, this is my property, or said this sajjada, this carpet in my home, he said it's tahir, you trust. He said it is najis, you trust. Even if you know the previous condition. Yesterday was najis, today you go to his home, he says it is clean, you trust. You don't say no, you have to prove that it has become tahir. You don't need to investigate. And Sahibul Urwa, who is one of our great fuqaha, Sahibul Urwa, Sayyid Kazim al-Yazdi, he says, لا فرق في اعتبار قول dhi'l-yad بالنجاسة بين أن يكون فاسقا أو عادلا بل مسلما أو كافرا. There is no difference in accepting the word of someone who has control, whether it is a Muslim or kafir or just or sinful, as long as there is no bad history with that person, we trust. Because Islam wants people to trust each other, society should be based on mutual trust, and also life should not be made difficult for people. Okay, Alhamdulillah, this finished, and in this way we have finished 3 rules all about yad, istila. One was yad as a sign for milkiyah. One was al-yad ma akhadat hatta tuaddi. Every person who gets something, he has to give it back. Unless, of course, we said it's Amin or Muhsin. If it is Amin or Muhsin, we said if something happens and he has not been careless and he has not done something extreme, he's not responsible. Otherwise, he's responsible. And the last one is اخبار dhi'l-yad, informing by someone who has control. Inshallah, next session we will talk about قاعده الغرور, deception, and that is in the book that you have also. You have قاعده الغرور. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.